Hi guys, this is Luetin. So this week I was lucky enough to have been invited to the EA studios in London to play exclusively the Crysis 3 beta 1 week before it's available to the public, but even better, I was able to record a ton of footage to break down and evaluate for you guys. Today's video is going to be a short overview and a look at some of the changes that we can see in Crysis 3. But first up, let's talk about how the game feels, because as we only had a few hours gameplay and a beta mode, we wouldn't be seeing the full game, so this really was just a preview. The controls of the game itself are extremely fluid and navigating the maps is very simple. Crysis really feels like an arena shooter and its map size complements this, so think more along the lines of Call of Duty than Battlefield, but it keeps the gameplay fast and as it happens is necessary when we come on to the Hunter game mode. The two maps that are available in the beta are the Museum, which people have already played on the alpha, but now you also have the Airport available, which is a maze of tunnels and mangled structures overgrown with wild foliage. Another nice addition to note is that alien weapons are now dotted around the map and can be picked up if you can survive long enough to be lucky and find one of them. So let's now move on to the two game modes I was able to test out today. We played out the Crash Site mode as seen in the alpha play, and of course Crysis 2, and the new Hunter game mode, which sees you against an invisible and deadly team of Hunter assassins. The Crash Site is essentially headquarters mode, whereby a pod drop sees you having to secure the crash site and then defend it against the enemy before it gets taken down and another one is dropped in a different location. Players in control of the pod will earn points for the team, and crash pods have a limited life, so be sure not to be too close when they get cleared out and then destroyed, as they'll explode. This game mode is always going to be frantic and intense, and one of the best things about this mode in Crysis is that unlike some other multiplayer titles, on the two maps that we played the pods tended to drop in open areas, and this means it's much more difficult to defend and you don't end up in a situation where one player can simply sit in a corner covering the pod, well, and not as much anyway. And overall, this mode was fast and furious, not to mention having a pinger droid which is controllable by players, stomping around all over the map reaping the enemy team, and changing out to your support class to take this down with rockets is going to be a necessity. The crash site is as you may expect from a headquarters style game mode, but it does take some interesting new angles on it which may make it more enjoyable. And as I said so far, on the modes I played, its openness meant that securing it from the enemy team was not as difficult as it could be, and all around the gameplay was very enjoyable. In the full version of Crysis with the tag streaks, alien weaponry and pinger droids, this could be a very brutal and hard fought game mode, and no doubt the other modes that will be available in Crysis 3 will follow suit. Crysis 3 also brings us the new Hunter game mode, in which you have to eliminate the cell operatives completely to end each round, and this is played across 5 rounds. The team is split into a cell and hunter team, and you need to basically survive as long as possible as a cell member to gain XP and finish higher up the leaderboard. The last man standing gets a large XP bonus. This mode was really interesting and I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, because to begin with it seems to be actively encouraging heavy camping. However, there is a heavy twist in the tale here, and that is that you are unable to see your enemy until the very last minute, as the hunting team will have full stealth capability, silent accelerated movement and a constantly highlighted minimap, as well as a one-hit bow to boot. This makes the hunting team utterly terrifying, and the cell team only have a proximity sensor to make them aware that a hunter is nearby, but it's not directional and it often simply increases your fear in the process. I was often finding myself throwing EMP grenades randomly trying to detect the hunters that were very close by to me. To be honest, I didn't appreciate this game mode at first because I felt that it was simply encouraging the cell team to camp in a very hardcore way. But after we'd played many rounds of the game mode, whilst it's true that the cell team would often be seeking the best hiding places to defend with the other team members, then what you would find is that the cell team would need to work seriously as a team in order to be successful. Because a second twist in the game mode is that every cell member that is eliminated will join the hunter team, and that only intensifies the hunt. I think that many people would not be sure of this game mode, but I would say that you need to try it out before you judge it. It certainly took me multiple rounds to come to a meaningful conclusion, because it does not play out often as you would imagine it would, and taking down hunters is hard, but it's not impossible. Often the very fact that you would turn and fight seemed to catch the hunters off guard, but cell members be warned too, because armoured shields will not always protect you from a well-aimed, one-hit arrow through the skull. So in conclusion, the Crysis 3 multiplayer offers some very engaging, futuristic arena-style combat. If you're looking for a game to slot in between your other FPS titles to enjoy some fast and furious gameplay that's smooth, intuitive, as well as being addictive and engaging with astonishingly sharp and slick graphics to back the package up, then you're going to want to consider Crysis 3. The beta is out on the 29th of January and I strongly advise you to give it a look. For some more detailed Crysis gameplay breakdowns and analysis as well as more EA exclusives in the future, be sure to check out my main channel. This is Luetin, signing off.
The nanosuit, the greatest tactical combat machine the world has ever known.